Okay, so this is the tutorial of version 0.3 of the 360 video player. We've got a brand new Unity project here. I'm using Unity 5.51. This is the earliest version supported due to the shader requirements. And I have the whole pack here, and so I'm just going to hit import. And the first thing that we're going to notice in the documentation file is that we need to move the streaming assets folder into the root of the assets folder. Now I need to click on the right project here, but we'll see that this folder I've put here, I can't put it here on the asset store. So I've packaged it up like that, and the first thing to do is move it as a child so that your streaming assets folder is a subfolder of the assets folder. And then all your video files are going to go right into this folder. Now that that's done, we can, it says to open up a new scene, and I already have a new scene, and I keep going into the wrong Unity. Let me see if I can, okay, there we go, that should work. So I'm in a brand new scene, and the documentation tells me I need to delete the main camera and the default light. You don't have to do that, but you do need to delete the main camera at least. So we've deleted that, and then it says open the Unity lighting window, and you can delete the skybox. If you're just doing 360 video, there's no reason to have a skybox. Maybe if you're using the video wall, you want to have a sky at your video wall. So this is not a required step, just kind of a, I guess, best practice for if you're just playing 360 video. Now we need to go into the hierarchy create UI. We can create this is going to create a 360 video player only, and this will create the video wall. So first of all, let's just look at this one, and we get the black screen, we have the sphere, and we have no option for the video player type. And the reason why is because we're not using Unity 5.6, it's 5.51. So we don't have Unity video player, and we don't have Easy Movie Texture. So we need to import Easy Movie Texture, which is right here on the asset store. Of course, I'm going to import the whole pack, but actually it's going to come with a streaming assets folder, and I'm going to deselect that because we don't want to use that streaming assets folder like that. Okay, so now that Easy Movie Texture is imported, you'll notice that video player type's already automatically populated to use Easy Movie Texture. And I'm going to hit play, and I'm going to get an error because it says could not open file, because we haven't configured anything on our video playlist. We've set multiple videos or single video, but we have the size of 0. So we need to at least make one video to play. And then I'm going to put in the file name. Now the file name is going to match here. I need to type in either forest or water. Mill. Now it will find it if I just type it like this, but you can include your file extension .mp4. And right now just MP4 files are supported, but that is the file format that you get when you're creating 360 video. So the next thing you have to set is the material, and the reason why is if you're playing stereoscopic video, you need the stereoscopic material, and if you're playing monoscopic video, you need the monoscopic material. So depending on whether or not this video is a monoscopic or stereoscopic video, I need to set the material it should use here. So you'll notice that there's a stereoscopic and monoscopic right there. The forest video is a monoscopic, so if I hit play, we should get an error. Now, there's not much I can do about this because this is actually an error with Easy Movie Texture's recent version. Now, the developer from Easy Movie Texture said that he's going to fix this, but if you are using Easy Movie Texture and you're using version 3.59, which was released on April 17th, 2017, then you should have this error. If you have a version after that, he should have this fixed. But what's happening is when you play, it's because we've set Easy Movie Texture as the video player type, it's automatically adding the media player script, which is the Easy Movie Texture script, to the sphere, and then it's trying to play it. But the problem is this variable shader YUV, which we're not even using, is null, and so we're throwing the error. That's what the developer needs to fix. What you can do to get by this problem is, if you're using Easy Movie Texture, you need to select the Movie Screen 360, and you need to add the Media Player CTRL script, which is the video player for Easy Movie Texture. And then you need to populate the shader value with the onlit YUV. Again, this variable isn't even used. If you go look at the script, we don't even use this. It gets to an if statement and it just passes by it. But because it's null, it throws this error. So the bottom line is, after version 3.59 of Easy Movie Texture, this should not be a problem. But in the time being, you're going to need to add the movie player control script to this Movie Screen 360 game object and populate the shader YUV with the shader onlit underscore YUV. Once you have that done, you can play, and it's just going to work. Now, it looks like I've put the wrong material on, so you'll notice that I put the force, I guess, is actually the stereoscopic. So I need to fix that. Okay, now it's playing right, but it's upside down, and I can't figure this one out because it is completely random. Sometimes sometimes it plays right, and sometimes it plays upside down. So I think it's because the shader is using the different VRI settings, and it's hopefully in a future version it's not upside down. The good news is it's only in the editor. It only plays upside down in the editor. If you actually build this, the video plays fine on the VR device. It's in the proper orientation. And sometimes if you restart Unity, or if you go to a different scene and then come back, it'll play the video right. But currently with the shader, and Unity version, sometimes the video plays upside down in the editor. Now, there's lots of bugs here. We've got the bugs with we have to assign the shader to the media player controller script. And sometimes the video is playing upside down on the sphere. But again, this is version 0.3. It's basically a beta. We're trying to work through the bugs, and even work with bugs with Unity, where we're finding problems with Unity. So moving on, that is how you get the basic controls working with the just 360 video. Going through the options there, you can set single video, which of course is only going to play one video, and that's a stereoscopic video. The advantage there is the menu doesn't have the next or the previous buttons. And then you could set, this is just the video configuration. These variables, the thumbnail, sprite, title, date, description, are for the video wall. So if you're not using the video wall, you could just leave these all null. They're not needed, but you need to give it a file name and a material. So the target is what object to play the movie on, and of course that is the Movie Screen 360 that has the mesh renderer with the movie screen mesh. And then the next one is play on start. Is it going to play the video when it starts? And this is a menu spawn mode if you want to spawn it with a gaze trigger, which happens when you look at this collider, which is a child of player, main camera. Oh, I guess not. It's up here under trigger menu. So it's the child of media player controller, and it's the mesh collider with this circle. When you look at this, when you gaze down and look at it, then it triggers it opens up the menu. If you just want to open up the menu with input fire 1, which is basically tapping this button on a cardboard headset or tapping on the Gears VR right here, you can switch that to input fire 1, and and then it's just going to open up that menu anytime you use the input fire 1. So this is the menu prefab of the canvas that's going to be spawned. So that canvas, of course, is this one that just got spawned right here. So it's the whole entire canvas. And if you want to take a look at that prefab yourself, you could go to the demo scenes and look into the video wall demo scene where you'll find the prefabs. And then the next variable there is the menu spawn position. This is where the menu spawns, and it's a child of the camera. And so again, back here, menu spawn position, you see it's right here. This is a child of the camera so that, you know, it continues to be at this offset from the camera. And this is where the menu is going to spawn. So you'll notice if I play and I spawn the menu, it's at that position right there, the menu spawn position. So if you want to change where the menu spawns, you can move it up there. And then when you spawn a menu, I can't even see it. It's spawning way up above me. So I don't want to change that. I want to leave it right there. All right, the next variable to look at is the icons. All these icons are just the play, pause, previous, next, and the video wall icons. We don't see any of those. Well, we only see the play and the pause unless we're in the video wall scene. So let's go over into the video wall scene so that we can see this icon, and the one down here. That's what all these are for. All right, so we could get one ourselves in a scene of our own if we were just to say create UI 3D video wall. It's going to automatically spawn one of those, and then we could hit play, and we should have that video wall, and it should play all of these videos for us. But we have the same problem where we have to go to the movie screen, add the media player's control script, and populate that YUV shader. And I'm happy when Easy Movie Texture gets updated, and we don't have that problem. So here we have the next, previous, and the video wall icon, which brings you back into the video wall. So let's, instead of going through this one, let's just go to the demo scene, where the video wall demo scene. Here we go. And we'll look at the video wall. Very simple to configure this. You just set how many video wall units you want. It supports up to 6. And then you can configure all the information here. Again, before, if you're just using a 360 screen, you just need this and this. Now we can populate the sprite, the title, the date, the description, and all that goes into the video wall. And then each one of these has its own unit, but those are spawned automatically, basically from this script, depending on how many you set. And then we get the video player 360, which is just like in the other scene all by itself, except right now the movie screen is turned off because, again, maybe we actually did want to have a sky out here, so we put a default sky, and that way at the video wall we could see our nice sky, and then when it goes into a video wall it turns on the movie screen, and the sky, you know, whatever, this whole scene gets hidden. Now if you want to put your own objects in the video wall scene, you can do that by just making objects here as a child along with these objects, basically, because this whole game object will get turned off when you're watching a 360 video. So if I wanted this cube to be, you know, maybe it's a tree or something like that, it's, you know, objects in my environment. And I was getting an error when the video wall played. Let me just make sure that we have, yeah, the movie screen 360 here. We're going to need to add that script and fix that shader. So you can see I have my own object here, and when I go into watch a video, I'm only going to see the video because the video wall game object has been turned off. Alright, so that's how the video wall works. And if you want to configure how all these things, how it responds to the gaze as far as rotation, background pan, gloss pan, you can set all of that here. There's also tool tips here to describe what they're doing, and so that should be pretty self-explanatory if you want to change the behavior of these and how they respond to the gaze. So the next one I want to look at is Unity 5.6. Okay, so now I switched over to Unity 5.6, and we're going to take a quick look at the Unity 5.6 video player component. So I'm going to import the pack, and I'm just going to import everything. And as always, the first thing we need to do is move that streaming assets folder to the root of assets, and now we're ready to go into the Video Player 360 demo. I'm just going to open up the video wall demo and hit play. All right, and everything's working. So if we look at the video wall, or actually the Video Player 360 at the media player controller, we'll notice that it only supports Unity Movie Player, and that's because it's Unity 5.6, and we have not imported Easy Movie Texture. So everything else is going to be exactly the same, except there are some bugs to be aware of. Basically, this is outlined in the documentation, but the Unity 5.6 video player, in addition to the Windows Video Media errors you may experience, and you need to visit this forum post for more information about that, but it has some performance issues, and some of that being when you're playing high resolution video, certain callbacks aren't called. So this doesn't always happen, but pretty much if this video gets done playing, this happens. And this seems like a bug with my pack, and it may be, but as far as we can tell, it's nothing that we have any control over, and it's because of poor performance in the Unity 5.6 video player component. You'll notice that this video, which is lower quality, essentially, it's monoscopic. It won't have that problem. It's going to play. Oh no, it does. It does. But same problem. It can't play. It can't actually do the next. And what that gets down to is certain callbacks that are supposed to be called from the Unity video player component once a video is finished playing, and they're just not happening. And with Easy Movie Texture, it's not a problem at all. The callbacks are fired, everything works fine. So again, I've submitted bug reports to Unity and trying to get to the bottom of this, but for the time being, I suggest using Unity Movie Player. It doesn't perform as well, even on stuff like scrubbing through the timeline. When you're scrubbing through the timeline here, Easy Movie Texture does that a lot better. Like if you were to hold this down and scroll while you're holding down your button, Easy Movie Texture handles that way better than the Unity Movie Player does. So if you're experiencing problems there, again, please report it to Unity and report it to me, and or just report it to me, and then I'll form a good bug report for Unity and get to the bottom of it. So that pretty much wraps up everything from the video wall, how to set that up, how to change how it responds to the gaze, how to add your own objects into the video wall scene, and the video player, how it works, how to use it by itself without the video wall, how to use the different movie players and the advantages of those, single, multiple video handling, and customize your menu, change the canvas completely, trigger the menu in different ways, and here are the prefabs if you want to see those. So anyways, thank you for watching. Send me an email, which is in the documentation file, if you have any problems, questions, and or feature requests. And stay tuned for updates. We'll continue to make this better and hopefully get some of these annoying bugs gone. Not only with my pack, but with also Easy Movie Texture and Unity 5.6. It seems to be lots of bugs right now with 360 video. So thanks for your support. See you guys soon.